Home run!
Isn't that great?
Oh, Lord. Oh.
Nailed it.
Well, right out of the ballpark, my man. So today we already have the subtitle of our episode. You know that, of course.
What's that?
It's the New York City travelogue by Erik.
Well, yeah, that's basically, I've got a lot of stories to tell.
That's major
So,
stuff. Well,
buckle up.
I've seen the pictures and would love to hear a story about each facet of it. It sounds multifaceted, but I got to tell you that you sent me a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of impressive stuff. The best was the video from the bar to your room. That told me more. It helped explain the other email you sent me, which was you seemed to be perhaps overcome with drink.
No, I was
but
not.
managed to function.
Yes.
Well, if you didn't feel well the next day, then
no, that was a different day.
Oh, well,
different.
They all run together,
hotel.
don't they?
Yeah. So I, in preparation, I was like looking at my photos and putting together sort of a timeline. So let me walk you through my visit to one of the greatest cities on the planet. So I got in the evening, like it was already dark when I checked into my hotel. I had left.
What part of the region were you in? Manhattan?
So I looked around. Like I went to Booking.com and I said they do this nice thing where they will put a map with prices everywhere.
Right.
So which is the perfect way to see. And so I saw. Well, here's one that's one of the cheaper ones. That's right next to the
subway,
to the Empire State Building.
Oh, that's a cool spot.
Right in the middle, and I looked. I didn't just take the cheapest one, but I did a little research on the place, and it seemed okay. So I booked that for my 3 nights before the conference, and it was, a couple blocks from somewhere in New York City is actually quite far.
Because those blocks
are freaking huge.
Yeah.
But and also the Uber from the airport, like it took an hour, but like the last 20 minutes was the last mile because the traffic was so just stopped.
Yeah, right near the Empire State Building, all around there.
Yeah,
what time? On 6? Dinner time?
On a Friday at 6.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the peak hour. Which I would later learn was right before a Knicks game. Oh.
So add that to all of it.
And did you go to the Garden?
I saw the Garden from outside. I snapped that selfie that I sent you. But so anyway, my hotel is right in Koreatown, which I'd heard of Chinatown, but I didn't know that Korea.
Who knew?
Yeah, so full of Korean restaurants and lots of Korean signs and things. But
spicy seafood.
Not a bad spot. Yeah. So then it was like, okay, well, I got to find some dinner because I was pretty hungry, having this be a 6-hour extra long day. And so I went looking around. I didn't really feel like Korean food. Like I wanted something, I don't know,
Comfort.
More New York.
Oh yeah, right. I got you.
Yeah, not
right.
The other option was
pastrami sandwich and a bowl of
I could just get a sandwich
soup.
Yeah, I could just get a sandwich somewhere, or I could, how often am I in fucking Manhattan?
Yeah.
So I looked around.
Great pizza too.
And I walked around and I was like, look, there's Madison Square Garden. I didn't realize that was here. Because, I don't know, in my mind, for some reason I thought the Garden was like further out of the city or something. But no, it's right there in the damn middle. And I found a sort of steak bistro place right next to the garden. That, like, for sure, people like New Yorkers go here and then to the game, or to the game and then here all the time.
Comfort food, man.
But again, I didn't know yet that the Knicks were playing.
And so you were there about when in relation?
I was there right after the game had started. Was when I went into the restaurant.
Which is a good time to eat.
Wait, yeah. And when I was there waiting, one of the waiter guys came by and said something like, "Knicks, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, or
how about them Knicks?
Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, go. Yeah.
Oh,
go,
how about
Knicks.
them Knicks?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, baby. That's a good answer. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So I looked at the menu and I was like, I could get something cheap, or I could, have a nice
New York
thing.
steak
And New York strip. I was like, well, I'm in New York. I should get that.
Bone in.
So no bone. But it was lovely. So I asked the waiter, like, does this come with any vegetables or anything? And he was like, nah. So I got a New York strip with the photo that I sent you. And it was lovely. And a side of green beans and a beer. $92 plus tip.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
it was,
meat is...
I was like, damn.
Meat is the result of these tariffs that are so...
Yeah,
I mean, you can buy a steak now at the store for $26. I saw T-bones today. They were $27 for one. And it was not wholesale, but retail. It wasn't service.
And the green beans, like, could have been my entire meal, like,
because they were fresh.
I mean, they were really well done and fresh, but there was just a lot of them, a big pile on a plate.
You sent me a picture, didn't you?
Maybe not of the green beans, but of the steak for sure.
Yeah, I remember the steak.
And so that was amazing. And then, I figured I needed to rest. So I was exhausted. But I went back to the hotel and discovered that the bar was, like, next door to my room. And so
had to celebrate that.
I was like, let's go in here, and to go with my New York strip, I ordered I don't really know anything about cocktails. I don't really like cocktails, but I figured I should have a Manhattan while I'm in Manhattan.
It's sweet.
And
it's sweet.
Yeah, it's too sweet.
Yeah,
not a fan. So that was the end of my long Friday of travel.
And you're alone for all this?
Alone, yeah. And then Saturday, I have an appointment to have lunch with some old colleagues of mine, one of which I had never actually met in person. At a Shake Shack in Brooklyn. We had to go to a Shake Shack because he was with his little kids and they needed fries to be satisfied.
There's a song there somewhere.
Yeah.
Making love to you
satisfied
to be satisfied.
Satisfied. Yeah. So I was like, fine. I'd never been to a Shake Shack before. I know it's a popular brand. I thought, whatever. So I get up. I did really well. I stayed up until 9, and I got up at like 6, which is really hard when you're coming from Europe to not get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
With jet lag. And so I went out and had a cream cheese bagel and a coffee for $12.
Yeah.
Just like, jeez. And it wasn't even like...
That sounds cheap.
They didn't even try on the bagel.
I would have guessed 19 for bagel,
Jesus.
Cream cheese, and coffee. Yeah, coffee's like $6. I mean...
Jesus. Wow, okay. So I took the train to Brooklyn. I sort of had an idea in my mind of, like, a couple of neighborhoods of Brooklyn that I've heard people talk about, and I wanted to go.
How many times have you been to the city?
To New York City.
Yeah.
I was there once on my 18th birthday with a group of the tour guide with kids, of
young adults, yes,
college kids, and then again on my 28th birthday, where my wife and I just on a whim bought the tickets the day before without any planning and went to the city for 3 days.
How romantic is that, you guys?
Well, because it was like the 10-year anniversary of the first time I had been there.
Yeah.
Right? On my 18th birthday and then my 28th birthday I spent there.
Yeah.
And that was nice, but those are the only 2 times.
You
really.
like that? You like that kind of balance in what you do? That the present and the future is linked to the past in some very real ways.
Well, and then I didn't go on my 38th birthday because we had small kids and it just didn't seem doable. But we're definitely going next year on my 48th.
Oh, fun.
Just to do the
I've
rhythm.
been probably, I want to say, a dozen times. I worked in and out of New York City, and the place I worked with was on Wall Street, and so I always stayed within a walk of there in these little mini hotels. It's a bed and a place to write and a small toilet, and it's on the cheap.
Yep.
And always within walking distance, you're going to find great pizza. You're going to find a great bar. There's going to be music within sight. You know, if you look around a little bit, maybe a little more spread out, depending on the day of the week. But all those different neighborhoods and all those different places. I stayed in Brooklyn for many, many times. My niece and my nephew and my niece-in-law had a brownstone there, 2 stories in Brooklyn. Yeah,
money.
Her mother-in-law owns 60 hotels in Manhattan.
Oh, money.
So when they got married, she emptied one of her hotels that was nothing but apartments, 1 and 2 bedroom apartment hotel rooms. She emptied the hotel, and that's where we all stayed. We had the restaurant, cool. We had the bar, we had all the rooms. We had kids with us, so we had 2 bedrooms, living room, kitchen area. And
it's good to be rich.
On the first floor in downtown Manhattan, where I literally could look out my window and see Manhattanites walking by.
Yep.
Vibrant.
Isn't that cool? Yes.
Vibrant.
That's so cool.
As I recall it. And buses to take us to the wedding. And, you know, we went to the wedding and it was this warehouse thing, you know. The barn, you know, the big high beams. And there were musicians, like one guy or 1 or 2 guys in different parts of it. And they had a bar. They were making mojitos fresh. And all these beers, and they had stations with shrimp and all this melted cheese and all this stuff. And I thought, wow, this is the best reception I've ever been at. And you know, and an hour later, one of the walls of that big room were actually giant sliding doors. They slid the doors open to the ballroom, where we were all seated for a fucking 6-course dinner. 3 different wines, 2 different bands, and chocolate and desserts at midnight with masks.
Nice.
With masks. After midnight, the place was fucking crazy. Drinking, eat sugar, put on masks. The groom had on a fucking Ronald Reagan hat. Dressed in his tux. It was outrageous. Anyway, not to take you off your story, but
that sounds almost as nice as my wedding. Mine was mine was very parallel to that. Got my cream cheese. Took the train to Brooklyn, but I realized that I was on the wrong train. I wasn't going in the right place. So I was like, well,
not hard to do.
I was like, well, shit, let me get off here and ask the phone how to get the right train to go to the neighborhoods that I wanted to go to. And I looked, and there was like, okay, you can take this bus over here. And I went and I sat there at the bus station for a little bit. The streets were empty. This was like in the business area, but it was like 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, right? And so there was just nobody in the streets.
I know the feeling.
And so I was sitting there waiting on the bus, and I looked at the map, and I was like, it's not that far. I'm just going to walk. So I set off walking towards my just more or less arbitrary destination.
Which was a neighborhood.
Which was a neighborhood in Williamsburg. But like, I certainly got an orientation of when someone says Williamsburg. I mean, like, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago to point to Queens, I couldn't, but now I can. And so I just started off walking there. I had a good audiobook. I was just bleep-blopping along, stopping to take pictures because there were some parks with these beautiful autumn leaves just blowing in the wind. It was just gorgeous, and all the young hipsters were out jogging around or running around with their dogs, and it was just a Saturday morning in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And but then, much to my surprise, I came across, like, I saw somebody in a really weird hat. It was a big thing with a big fur thing around the top.
Russian.
And I was like, that's my initial thought was like, oh, that looks like sort of a Russian thing, but it wasn't. It was like just like elevated on top of the head. It wasn't like for warmth.
Oh yeah.
And I was
he was like a voodoo leader.
Well, no. So I was like, huh, that's weird. Like, I almost took a picture of him. I didn't. And I walked, and then I saw another one, and another one.
Like that?
And another one dressed the same in a black robe and a big freaking weird thing on their head. And then
And no pictures?
Well, I did take a picture when there was a couple of them. And then I noticed that, like, the signs were no longer in English. And the school buses were not in English. And then what really gave it to me was seeing one of those men walking with two little boys with little curly hair coming down the sides. And I was like, oh yeah, the Hasidic Jew neighborhood. There's a huge population just of Hasidic Jews in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And this
that's
was
where you wanted to go anyway, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I didn't realize I was going through this particular area, but and of course it's morning on the Sabbath, so they were all going to temple or whatever.
They wanted what kind of looks did they give you?
They
friendly or no
look at me at all? Not ignored.
Just completely ignored you. Were there other people around besides you?
Some people, but not a lot. Most of the people were dressed like they were going to temple.
With, people who weren't Hasidic, were there a lot of those? Any of those?
No, not really. Like an occasional one,
you're a stranger
like walking the dog or something. Yeah, and it was like, I'm in a whole different country here. This is wild.
Yeah. Well, what a great experience, though.
Yeah. And so I kept on walking through there and got back to America. But there are some adorable little neighborhoods in Brooklyn that are like, wow, I like what a great place to live here. And so,
if you got
out of curiosity,
$2 million,
out of curiosity, I opened up the Zillow app that tells you how much the houses are.
Yeah.
And the houses that I was like, I could definitely live in a place like this. They started at 2 and 3 million.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, But it was like the perfect time of year too, because it was autumn and everything was all beautiful, and the parks were lovely.
Yeah.
So I walked around. I ended up walking 10 miles that morning.
You're used to more 5 as a max would be my guess.
Yeah.
Well, and did you feel at any point like you were slogging through it, or was it all?
No. I was just walking around. Interesting.
And what was the weather like?
It was beautiful, sunny, crisp morning. It was. I would say
mid-60s.
50s. Like I had my coat on and it wasn't bothering me it was too hot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like my ears weren't cold or anything. So then I decide, okay, well, also I wanted to let's see. No, so then I needed to get back down to southern Brooklyn to where the Brooklyn Bridge is to meet my friends. And my navigation app said, well, you need to hop on the East River Ferry and go down there that way. I was like, well, okay, that'll be an experience too. So,
is that what you did?
So I did that.
Under the Brooklyn Bridge?
Under the Williamsburg Bridge.
Yeah, but over.
Maybe not under the Brooklyn Bridge.
And that's the Manhattan River?
The East River, I think.
East River. So, did you know that when you where that bridge starts, there's a neighborhood, kind of a wharfy neighborhood, watery, old cobblestone, old neighborhood.
Which bridge?
Brooklyn Bridge.
Okay, yep.
And kind of, instead of going straight on the bridge, take a left and you go down lower and you go into this neighborhood. So the bridge is up above you, but that's where the oldest bar in America is. And the home of, what beer? I almost said Yingling, but that's Pennsylvania. So there was a beer I knew at one time.
Okay. Well, if I'd known that would.
Well, I thought that, and for a moment, I thought that's what you were going to tell me, and it was going to be one of those, oh my God moments.
Well,
but the ferry sounds cool.
So I got to the ferry where my stop where I needed to be, where I was meeting the people was right there at the Brooklyn Bridge, but I was early. They wanted to meet at 12:15 or something. And it was like 11, and I was starving.
Yeah.
So I was waiting around.
Because you had just had a bagel at 6 a.m.
Right, exactly, and then walked 10 miles
for $12.
Right. So I looked around, and right under the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a place that sells a lobster bisque. That I was like, it's kind of cold. I could do with a little lobster bisque here. It's a place called Luke's. They have on the side, it says voted best lobster roll in the boroughs or whatever.
Ooh. And you got the soup, not the roll?
I got the soup because I wanted to eat with my friends later.
Oh yeah. Right. The roll's probably $30, $40.
The bisque, I got the small one, and it was $14 plus tip.
Yeah.
Which was fine. But then there was this adorable tiny little park next to it that was like, it was so picturesque, and it had a sign saying no photos.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I took some photos.
Why would that?
I don't know. But it's like
there?
Right there, literally under the bridge. And I had the bisque was amazing.
Yeah.
So
was it totally creamy, or did it have lumps of lobster in it?
Lumps.
Oh.
Some oyster crackers to put in.
Oh.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. You take the oyster crackers before you put them in the bisque. Get a real hot pan of a little oil and butter, and take those crackers and put a little spray on them and throw them in a bag with Parmesan cheese and shake them all up, and then throw them in the sizzling pan, and that's how you serve them on the soup.
Well, I didn't have a pan at the time, so
They
I just
didn't
put them right in the
provide.
soup.
What kind of a joint is this? So so it sounds like absolute perfection so far. So then you shortly
Yeah,
there.
so I met up with my friends.
That place, or you went somewhere else?
At the Shake Shack.
Oh. You weren't
Remember?
at the Shake. You were at Luke's, right?
Oh yeah,
So you
just
kept
a tiny
walking.
little.
Kept walking.
It wasn't even there wasn't a dine-in place. It was just like you take your thing and eat it in the park.
Because it was takeout.
At Luke's.
Luke's was takeout. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did they give you
so-
soup in a plastic bowl?
In a little cardboard bowl.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Lovely.
then I had a Shake Shack burger, which was a good burger. Whatever. Meh.
So was the burger so thin that you couldn't have ordered it medium? The burger was a slab rather than a real burger.
Yeah, it's fast food. And like,
right.
and you order on a touch screen that is slower than ordering with a human. It was meh.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
Yeah.
Like that's the way fast food is.
All right,
these
so
days.
you met up with your buddies. They had their kids.
So then
you had a burger.
Then I thought, well, it's like 2 at this point, or not 1:30. I should take a nap because I'm going to be jet lagged, and I got to go see a show later. But also, I was in Brooklyn, and my kids are crazy fans of this TV show called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I asked ChatGPT, where are the iconic locations from that show in Brooklyn, and in every single episode they have the establishing shot of when they're going to be in the precinct, and they show this building, and it turns out it is a real precinct. It's the 78th precinct of Brooklyn, and I looked and it was like, oh, it's only 1.5 kilometers away.
And you mean a police station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, now that I'm here, I better walk over there and get a photo. No, actually, yeah. So I walked over there. Turned out I walked by the Barclays Center, where I guess the Nets play. No, not Nets. Brooklyn.
No, that's New Jersey Nets in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Tornadoes or
yeah, some pro sports team. So
Hurricane.
I found the precinct. It was exactly. It was perfect. It looks just like it does on the show, and there were a bunch of police cars parked all around it. Like, it looked perfect. I took some photos to send to my kids.
But they don't shoot there. They just do a replica.
No, it's all shot in Hollywood. That's just the establishing shot.
Isn't that something?
Of the outside of the building.
That's cool.
So that's going to tickle them. I haven't showed them yet.
I'll bet it will.
And although I did show my son in the opening sequence to this show, the main characters walk like by a bridge, and I always thought it was the Brooklyn Bridge, but no, it's actually the Williamsburg Bridge. And so when I got to the Brooklyn Bridge, I was going to try and recreate that photo, but like I looked and I was like, oh. But I had already, because the Williamsburg Bridge was so impressive, I'd already taken like selfies by that one.
So you had him already.
So I was able to send that to my son, and he kind of flipped out, like, "Oh my God, that's where the actual people are walking! Oh my God, that's cool. Amazing!" It was cool. So let's see. Then I took a train back to the hotel for a short attempt at a nap. I had like an hour and a half. I couldn't really sleep, but I lay down in a dark room for a little bit, and then. There's this pizza joint that I've heard lots of people talk about. Some of my favorite podcasters really love going there, and it's called John's of Beaker Street. And I thought, all right, I should go there just to experience this thing that they say is so cool. And so it was just not too long of a walk. This was in the West Village, and So I got there, and
Walked?
there was a line. Yeah, I walked. Maybe I took a. No, I think I might have taken a subway. I forget. Maybe I took a subway. Yeah. No, because then I walked later. Anyway, yeah, I think I walked there. It wasn't that far, but I got there, and there was a line around the block of people waiting to get in. This was like at 5 p.m. Because
Yeah.
apparently Manhattanites are really used to just waiting in line because the cool places don't take reservations, and you just have if you want to do cool stuff. Yeah. So I was like, well, I don't have time for this because I have a show to get to. So I went across the street to an amazing pizza place. That's the pizza photo I sent you was from there. And that was fantastic. The pizza was way too big because you can only order a whole pizza.
Yeah, it looked. The crust looked like it would just take me to heaven.
The crust was amazing, but like I didn't have budget for crust to put in my stomach. I needed to eat the rest of it.
Yeah,
the crust
because you weren't about to carry it.
Right. So fine. I finish up there, and then that was $70 plus tip.
For the pizza.
With a $16 glass of wine.
Yeah. That's steep.
You got to have money to live in the city.
That's steep. Well, now you know why. Now you know why so many young people are living in their basements and living off their phones and freaking screens and ordering, letting their parents buy the food. I mean, you know the story. Save that for the political desk. What would you, Dos Equis, eh?
Si.
I just finished up a 6-pack of amber not too long ago. I'm drinking Alaska amber. I got it. Got a 6-pack for $12. I thought that was pretty good.
Huh? That's 2 each. So then I had
pizza. Here you go.
No, I had the pizza, and then I was going to a famous theater in Manhattan, on Broadway, the Beacon Theater, which I've heard mentioned so many times of like comedy specials or concerts or stuff. Like it's just a thing that if you absorb American culture, you've heard of the Beacon.
Yeah.
So I was excited to go there, and I got there a little bit early, which is what I wanted, and I went in and got a single beer, $18 plus tip, because you can charge whatever you want at a place like that. And I was shown to my seat, which was pretty close. It was pretty good seats. I was over on the side, so the stage was to my left, but I was only like 6 rows back.
Oh, that's
so quite good. And the usher brought me to my seat and was telling everyone and told me, "Look, like it was like 5 minutes till showtime," and she said, "Well, because you're early." I was like, "Huh? That seems weird." It's like a lot of the seats were still empty. But she said, once you're in your seat, you need to stay in your seat for the entire show. And if you get up, we will fill your seat with another person because we are filming this event. So, and they want all the seats to look filled for the shot, right? So I was there to see Louis C.K.
Oh, right.
And
who's recovered from his masturbatory probationary period?
He's done, like, I think apologizing for that would not have satisfied anyone.
No.
So all he's done is he's just kept on working.
Yeah, sure.
And doing stuff. Like he's published a novel that he's written.
And he's had some interesting acting roles too. He was in something I saw not too long. He played a guy, walked into a bar and ended up drinking so much that he fucking went head down at the bar.
I don't know that role. So they're filming this, right? And the entire show, there's this huge boom arm with a huge camera on top of it that is floating above our heads.
Right.
Floating above like my section only. The only floating camera was above my head.
You think you were the only section that got that instruction then?
No, I don't think so.
You think that was theater wide? Were they doing theater wide shots, panoramas?
Potentially.
Well, yeah. What do you know? Did that thing move away from you and scour around a bit on its telescopic?
Oh yeah, it moved all around, but just over our section.
And never anywhere else.
I mean, it's on an arm.
Yeah, I understand.
It was like,
I wondered if it went anywhere else. Was there another one in the studio?
No, just on our side.
So I bet you were the only ones who got that instruction. They wouldn't tell the whole crowd that.
No, but they were going to have established the shots.
Yeah, you're right.
Throughout the thing of the rest of the crowd.
Sure.
So,
and so he was funny.
Yes, if you're a fan of Louis C.K., this was as good as any of his other stuff.
Yeah, he's X-rated, foul-mouthed, and
it's so foul
and gross, and like just says crazy shit. Yeah,
but also just funny as hell.
Yeah, and enjoying the hell out of talking to you. I mean, these comedians, they have the ones that are so established like him. When they're rocking and rolling, they're having the time of their life, and it shows.
So my understanding is when folks record a comedy special, they typically will do the same set 3 nights in a row, and then they will edit together the best moments for each joke.
Huh, interesting. I did not know that.
And so, like a week before I had heard Louis on a podcast, there's this podcast with Dana Carvey and the Joe Dirt guy, another SNL guy whose name is escaping me. Apologies to him. They interview SNL people, but then they ran out of SNL people, and now they just talk to comedians. And Louis was on their podcast, and he said a couple interesting things. One was that often when they record those specials, they the first night, like on stage, you're kind of nervous. And then the second night, you're a little more relaxed. And the third night, you're like, oh, I fucking nailed that. That was amazing. But ironically, when you go back in post to put stuff together, oftentimes the stuff from the first night is the funniest because you're a little bit on edge or something. There's something about being on edge that makes... However, Louis is doing this set all over the world this year. So this is not like his...
Right.
He's got this shit down.
Yeah.
But it was a very good set.
How long of a show? Hour?
So there were 2 opening acts.
Oh, no kidding.
That came out. Yeah. And then his set was probably a full hour.
The comedians.
Other comedians, yeah.
And like guys he given a break to.
Yeah, apparently that's really, really common.
Yeah.
And so
5 minutes, 7 minutes.
They were quite funny. Yeah.
Real quick though.
Yeah. One guy, this old black guy, sort of limped out with his cane, and like we were clapping, but it took him a while to get up to the mic, and he was like, keep clapping, y'all. And he got up there and he talked about, like, he was a comedian, lifelong comedian, but he'd had a stroke a couple years ago, and is just now getting back into being able to perform. And he had a whole bunch of jokes about what it's like in the handicapped community, and how the people that have been handicapped since birth really don't like the newcomers. that are just recently handicapped. Anyway,
I had no idea there were divisions within. Heaven forbid, they got their own community warfare going on.
Yeah. Anyway, he had some good stuff, but Louis' set was great. And so what Louis does now, Louis was the first. Another thing that he talked about on the podcast was. He's been doing his own comedy specials and bypassing Netflix and HBO and everything, and he just sells them on his website. And because his name is so big that he can do that.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need to be discovered.
Yeah. Right.
You go to him, and I've bought several of his specials off his website.
Yeah.
And you pay and you download, and then you can watch it.
So you had the time of your life there. And did you have a drink at your seat?
My $18 beer I took to my seat.
And
yes.
that was it, though. You couldn't go get another one.
Yeah, except that these 30-year-old, this group of 5 30-year-old dudes on the row in front of me. One was a over laugher. He was just so loud, which is like, all right, dude,
calm down.
We get it.
You're distracting.
But they just totally ignored this rule and would get up and go get new refreshments on drinks and shit. And it was, yeah, right? It's very annoying.
And you didn't say anything to them.
You can't. What are you going to do? Like, interrupt the show while it's going on?
Tap a guy on the shoulder, says, one of you guys get up again, I'm going to fucking kill all of you. You got it?
Yeah, exactly. So, the other note was please no heckling. We're recording this. So that was amazing. That ended, and we all flushed out into the street. And then out there in the street is everywhere in New York City, especially by exits and entrances to hotels and bars and things. There are these huge black Cadillac Escalades with tinted windows. And inside there's always a fat dude scrolling TikTok on his phone, just waiting for his celebrity to pop out and need to be driven somewhere. And they have to stay in their car, and they have to be ready at any moment. So they're just in there, sitting there, goofing off. So I waited outside a little bit in case anyone famous came out, but then I was like, I've got to go.
One of the things, I thought you were going to say this and didn't, but when I was working in the Wall Street area, one of the wonderful things in the morning was all of the food, coffee, breakfast wagons, carts.
There are a lot of those
all along the way, and without exception, just absolutely wonderful. If that's what you want to do, is just grab something on the way. And then the other noteworthy was any number of pizza joints. But I did what you did and said, what's the best pizza near me? And it flashed. And I said, well, it's there. It's right across the street.
Yeah.
And I went and got a whole pie. And it's so different than another major city that I've been to extensively is San Francisco, which is very, very, very neighborhood based, just as the city is, but in a so much smaller way because the whole Bay Area is only 9 miles across. I mean, you can literally walk it in a long day, and the whole peninsula you've covered it, and the neighborhoods therefore are small and it's all a matter of proximity. But there you would go I found myself in an Italian neighborhood, and there's a house that I know I said, wow, this is the restaurant. It's got a little sign in front of it, and you walk in the house, and it's just a house where they've cleared out all of the living room and dining room furniture and put like 6 tables.
Those are the most adorable places.
And the mama came out of her kitchen in her house and was just like, and I said, well, let's start with some spaghetti. And she brings one of those big silver bowls, not to dish out our spaghetti, but to bring us and leave it on the table with like a loaf of bread the size of fucking Portugal. I mean, and tabs of butter and then after a little while come and say, okay, what do you have?
Nice.
And you go from there to whatever. But and so New York City, those neighborhoods are not that, well, first of all, they're not that small, and you wouldn't necessarily find an establishment like that in New York City. Maybe in the Hasidic
some basement somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, there's going to be little Italy in there, but so back to my narrative here.
Your travel on.
So
Part 4.
Yeah. So I left Louis, took the subway back to the hotel, had a quick little nightcap because the bartender had given me 20% off on my next visit
at the hotel
coupon. Yeah, and I'd gotten to talking to him. I asked him where he's from because he had an accent. He says he's from Bangladesh, and I was like, "How long you been here?" He's like, "About 6 months." And I was like, "Wow!" And you've already got an amazing job. And he said, "Yeah, except that I have 25 years experience owning and running hotels back in my home country, and now I'm just the bartender at this hotel trying to work my way up the ladder here.
Wow.
I already have my hotelier certification here, and I was like, damn, dude." So he was interested.
Let me give you a little bit more tip.
Yeah, exactly. So he was an interesting good guy to talk to. We also were like critiquing the live music because he's a percussionist
at the hotel.
Anyway, yeah, it wasn't really live music. It was It was someone singing over a recorded track, but whatever.
But a performer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
it was a small little room.
Music's music. I mean,
okay, so we got to. It was fine. It was good.
Well, wait a minute.
Hold on, we got more to get to. This is not.
I got nowhere to go. I want to talk about this music. Then. Did the music move you in any way, or did you just move on? Were you there listening to it?
Yes,
Drinking?
there were some. Yeah, there were some songs where the singer hit a note really beautifully, and like they were doing covers of pop songs, but like jazzified.
Huh.
It was enjoyable.
Okay.
So then go to bed, slept really well that night, obviously, after my 10-mile walking and all the
food
stimulus and all the fucking pizza in my belly.
Did you eat you left a lot of the crust though, right?
Yeah, I left a lot of the crust, but I was very full. So
because it was
had to get up early,
thick with cheese and topping. I mean, it was like, oh my God, look at that.
I had a 9 a.m. Appointment to tour NBC Studios.
Oh,
right. So I get up.
Is that all?
So I get up.
You're hilarious. Okay.
I gotta use my time. We're beginning Sunday, bro. We got a ways to go here. So I figure I can walk over to 30 Rock, and sure enough, and they're still putting up at first I couldn't tell what the hell they were building with this scaffolding, but it was them putting up the Christmas tree, and like they need scaffolding all around it to like decorate it. So the tree wasn't up yet. And I got there a little too early because, I don't know, I didn't want to be late, and also jet lag,
You'd rather be there and wait than be late or on time.
Yeah, exactly. So
Get your bearings.
Yeah, right. I asked around.
You had
how do I
your
get
flask, right?
No.
You didn't?
How do I get to the tour place? And they said, go in there and go into the gift shop and tell them you're here for the tour. So I went into Rockefeller, 30 Rock, like on the ground floor, and wandered around until I found the gift shop. And it was like 8:15 when I checked in for my 9:30 for my 9 o'clock tour. And so I wandered around the gift shop. Very cool. Lots of like iconic SNL characters on T-shirts, and things like Law and Order T-shirts, and lots of classic
30 Rock shit.
NBC 30 Rock stuff. I bought some Brooklyn Nine-Nine swag for my kids for Christmas. Just great. And so then I wandered around just in the ground floor there. It's almost like there were a lot of shops and things that weren't open yet. Like it was going to be much more like a shopping mall sort of thing down there. But so waited around, and then it was time for our tour. They showed us a little movie about the history of how Rockefeller, at like the height of the Great Depression, decided, all right, I'm going to build a huge skyscraper here. It's actually like a set of 6 buildings. Like there's a huge block that's all Rockefeller stuff. And they talked about how there was one of the first places to broadcast radio in the U.S., giving it the name Radio City. Hence the music hall across the street. And then a little bit about the history about moving into television and black and white and color and blah, blah, blah. And so we had 2 pages on the tour giving us the tour guides.
Docents?
They're called pages. Yes. But like 30 Rock, have you ever seen the TV show 30 Rock?
With Tina Fey?
Yeah.
And,
so that gives you a sense of what.
Hilarious.
If you've seen that enough, you know what pages are.
Just absolutely hilarious.
But like there are several like Hollywood celebrities that like got their foot in the entertainment industry by being pages at NBC Studios.
I did not know that.
NBC Tours. So anyway, first place we go to, you go up to the 9th floor. Oh, they said no photos. If we see you taking a photo, we will have to watch you delete it, and then we will have to watch you go into recently deleted and delete it from there. Like, no photos. So I don't have any photos. But we went up to the 9th floor, which is how you get to Studio 8H, which is the holy mecca of comedy, where they film SNL. And so we walk through, I've seen these hallways because when they do sketches where they go out and they talk to Lorne or something, like you've seen those hallways.
Sure.
And so to go in, we have to walk through this corridor of photos of different sketches from the olden days and the new days, and you just get to look back and forth, and you end up laughing because you're reminded of those sketches. It's just so beautiful. And
they're quite wide corridors.
Yeah, although this was one that was split in 2 for like one tour to go in and one to come out. But we were like the first tour of the day, so that was nice. And then they had some iconic costumes, like they had the Tina Fey costume the Sarah Palin costume that Tina Fey wore.
One second. One second on that. I was spent a huge amount of my time at that time in my life paying attention to politics. And because I had spent some time in Alaska, I really was following Sarah Palin, and in fact, the director of corrections there, who I was contracting with for my job, he, back in the day, was dated in high school the governor. And I didn't know that. And in a meeting, he was talking about the governor, what she had done to help promote this prison thing we were doing. And as he was getting up, I said, well, that's great. I know the woman has vision because she can see Russia from here. And he turned from walking out of the room and spun and pointed at me and said, she never said that.
Yep.
And the dude who I worked for, who this was his boss, this black dude, he's sitting across the table with me. He lowers his head and he says, oh man, now you stepped in it. and he said he never said that. And I said, I looked at him and I said, yes, she did. And he said, well, maybe she did. Maybe she did, but she didn't mean it. And he walked out of the room. And my dude says, the door slams and he's just sitting there chuckling. He's laughing.
That was a famous.
And he said, sorry, man. I didn't. I guess maybe I should have told you, but they were sweethearts in high school. You were talking about his girlfriend, and I said, well, you could have fucking told me that. He said, well, I don't know. You're going to make a joke about the governor of Alaska. And I'm like, oh well.
I still blame McCain for opening the door for Trump by that nomination. By nominating Sarah Palin, it's normalized bullshit in a way that I think has direct causal relationships to Trump.
Well, the fact that they lost
or the anti-elite
brushes against that a little bit. I mean, it's hard to press. It's hard to set a precedent when you fail.
I don't know. Anyway, we got more to get to. So
there we go.
Walk into
where were we?
We walk into 8H, and we're up in.
Oh, right! It's a studio.
We go in and we sit down in the middle. That would have been the best seats to see the show. There's stadium seating up top, and then down on the floor there are like 60 seats, and they are randomly chosen when you who gets to sit down there.
The best place.
Yeah. Maybe because it's the way it is. It's it's like about the size of a basketball court, and you've got different sets, some that can be rolled around. Yeah. And if you've ever seen when they go to commercial break and they tear shit down and set shit up so fast.
I've seen videos of that.
So the musical section was still all in pink from the musical guest the previous night, because I was there 7 hours after the show wrapped, right? On a Sunday morning.
Getting ready for the next show.
No, they weren't getting ready for the next show. That's like the time where they're most relaxed, is when they've just done a show. So that was pretty cool. All the history and the vibes and stuff there. The one cool fact that I learned was for one episode of SNL, they use about 100 wigs. And that is because the hair you see on the actors is never their original hair, because they need to switch hair so often. They're all wearing bald caps, the entire time, and they have wigs of their natural hair made that they wear.
So they can quickly take it off and wear another wig.
So you can quickly take it off and put it on something else. Isn't that wild? I would never.
It's like at this age of my life, how come I don't know this? How it's so great to hear like some information.
Crazy fact like that, right?
That's wild. So, I'm picturing it, and I can barely imagine it. Them all in fucking skull caps. That's crazy. Exactly.
And so then we also, there's all these lights hanging from the ceiling, and there are, I think she said 300 or 400 lights hanging from the ceiling, and they've in the 50 years they've never removed a light. Some of them they don't use anymore, but like they've added some new ones. But like it's 50 years, 50-year-old lights are there. And also one interesting thing is right in front of the right above where you're sitting, there's a television that's showing you what they're actually broadcasting, because you might not, because if one of the sets is like off over to the side, you might not have a good angle to see what's going on over there.
Right.
So
big screens?
No, not particularly. Just regular flat screen televisions. Yeah, several of them for each section, and microphones so they can get the audience laughter. Okay, so then
you're mic'd.
Yeah. So then we left there, and we're going to go. Then we went down. So the eighth. It's called Studio 8H because the stage is on the 8th floor, but the audience goes in on the 9th and fills in. So then we went down to the 7th floor to go see these 6A and 6B studios. 6B is where Jimmy Fallon tapes, and I was kind of curious to see that, but that is the Tonight Show,
right?
But the page stuck her head in and said, "No, we can't." They made it really clear to us from the beginning, like every tour is different because like people work here, we're like doing shit, and like sometimes you can't do something, or sometimes you see a celebrity walk by, or somebody like every tour is different. And they said we can't because Jimmy is every couple months, very rare, he will pre-tape something on a Sunday, and so he was rehearsing to tape on that Sunday morning a show that will go out sometime soon, but won't. Like Jimmy can do that because like he doesn't talk about the news at all, right?
Yeah, right. He's quite vanilla.
So
he's funny. He's funny. He's kind of an interesting. He's more like Johnny Carson in that Johnny Carson loved to perform as well on his show, and Karnak, the guy wore a turban and predicted the future, and him and McMahon would go back and forth. I mean, the stuff was hilarious, and so he was, and he's the only one of all the comics that are doing this shit that are doing that kind of stuff where he's dressing up and the tape that he did with Neil Young, which is so fucking weird, and Neil Young's dressed like Neil Young, meaning he looks like Daniel Boone, and fucking Fallon's dressed up in the same thing, and they're sitting on a stump in the woods, and it's rotating around in a circle, and the name of it is I'm Playing Music in the Woods with Neil Young. And I want to say, what in the fuck, Neil Young? How could you do this? You didn't put up with this shit with Crosby, Stills, Nash. Why would you do this crazy shit with Jimmy Fallon? And he went along with it 100%. This is weird.
So we couldn't go in there, but we did go into the other one Studio 6A, which is apparently where the Kelly Clarkson show is
I know Kelly
filmed.
Clarkson show. I've seen snippets of that.
You've seen that? Okay.
Yeah,
so that
I
studio.
actually have known her from her competition days when she rose up through
back when she
The Voice
American
or
Idol.
whatever it was.
American Idol.
American Idol, yeah. And she's gone
So-
through quite a transformation physically. She used to
Yes.
be kind of heavy.
So
which was fine.
We got to sit there and look at that studio, but it was a total mess. There was just stuff everywhere. And the pages kept reminding us over and over again that the phrase was, we're making television in a skyscraper. So any time that a studio is not being used, it's storage. So what was in there was all the crap from yesterday's SNL.
Because
like
they weren't
props
filming
and shit.
for a day or two.
But they weren't filming on that Sunday, and she said, like, at any given day, like, you might come back 2 hours from now and all this will be cleaned out and be somewhere else. Like, they're just constantly like moving shit around to free up space to make television. It's kind of bonkers. And they talked about in that particular studio 6A, Conan was in there for a while, like just lots and lots of history in these places.
Yeah, Conan. I'm struck. Just as a side note, when you mention him, I love him so much, and
he's a good dude.
We've talked about his speech at the Kennedy Center, which was so amazingly clear and powerful. About the world we live in the Trump era, and without being just straightforward, not being particularly partisan, and the funny stuff he's doing now with his episodes of what do you catch Conan or
Conan Must Go.
Conan Must Go.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Anyway,
yeah, I listen to his podcast every week.
Do you?
It's so good. Yeah,
I never have.
It's very good.
I never have.
He's got nice co-hosts that he plays off of.
Yeah.
Okay, so to
there you
continue.
were.
So I came back. So we finished the tour. There were a couple. Oh, so then we went and we walked by the mixing rooms, and you can peer in, like there's windows, and you can see where they do not mixing so much, but editing. Like when they're filming something, the people that are choosing which camera to go to are all working in there. And there's just like a window on the back of the room that like visitors can watch them work, which is wild. So there was one of those for each of those studios, and one interesting thing that hadn't occurred to me was like in one of those studios is where they put up the graphics for like Seth Meyers when he's making jokes, and then they put up the graphics behind him. That's the person putting up the graphics has to have impeccable comedic timing, because for the joke to land, the image has to come right when it needs to come in the joke, and how that's like you got to be really good at it. So that was pretty cool. And then at the end of that hallway is where we went into this studio and made our own version of the Tonight Show.
Right.
Where
wait, now
we walked into this room.
I'm going to interrupt you. So, as you were sending me these pictures and these things, and I was alerted to this thing that you said, and I thought, well, I must have misread it. I thought it can't be that he said that he taped an episode.
I was on the Tonight Show.
The Tonight Show. And so when I opened it and I listened to it, by the time you were introduced and sat down as a famous movie star, my eyeballs were popping out of my head. My jaw was in my lap. And I was like, what the fuck?
Isn't that wild?
What is this? What is this? And you were like, a famous movie star, and you were like, whatever. you had a almost of a dismissive attitude, yeah, you're famous, whatever. Oh God! What an experience! So tell me the story.
The tour. There's like 8 people on the tour, right? And
8.
We walk into this. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's one every 30 minutes.
Oh.
You got to pre-book.
Oh, sure.
There are 8 and 2 pages, and they. So we walk into this studio that has the desk and the chair and the curtains where the announcer is going to be, and the whole thing is like 20 feet by 20 feet. This little room, but there's 4 cameras set up, and a place with the bongos and the piano where the band is. And they said, "All right, we're gonna make a show, and we need to assign you guys roles of what you're gonna do. So who wants to be the host?" And the young girl said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then they were like, "All right, who wants to be the celebrity?" And I was like, "I can do it." And they're like, "All right, fine, you. Who wants to be the announcer?" It's Carlos raised his hand, some guy.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a family,
like Jimmy Kimmel's dude.
Yeah. So and then there was a family there that were like said, "Yeah, we'll be the musicians," and the people that didn't really want to participate got to be the camera people and just stand behind the camera, but the camera was already perfectly set.
Sure.
And then there were teleprompters, so I was just reading the whole time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right?
I thought you were just
neither did my parents. No.
Good job.
And they.
I mean it.
And they had
screens.
No,
I mean it. I'm serious. I thought you were just. I thought that was just you talking. I thought. Wow, he's really impressive. He's just getting right through this.
I mean, I probably could have ad-libbed, but it was all like scripted, and they did a really good job. Like between the guest and the host, they had 2 screens set up, so it looked like you were looking at the other person while you were reading.
Yeah.
And
she was pretty good. She was a little unnatural. You, on the other hand, seemed very natural. You were very believable. And also, I thought the announcer was very, very, very believable. He reminded me of Jimmy Kimmel's dude, of course. But
right. Well, I mean, he was Mexican.
Yes. But his accent was so kind of,
But like,
almost a caricature.
What a creative treat. To nobody knew. We didn't know this was coming.
You
at the end of the tour.
When you signed up, you did not know this.
I didn't know that was part of it.
So when you got there, it was a surprise.
Yeah, total surprise. I was like, "What do you mean we're going to make an episode of the Tonight Show?"
And so you had that for posterity.
And so
they'll probably show that at your funeral, man. Think about it.
They said, "Look, we're going to send you an email with a download link. If you don't download it in 48 hours, we're going to delete the video.
Yeah.
Like, this is just temporary. So you download it, do with it what you will.
Because it's yours. Boom.
Yeah.
We hereby give up all rights." Well, it was. I got to tell you that, and so this is part 6, and yet I know there is much more to come.
There is. Do you have any more time?
I do have time, but I don't have a beer in my hand, and that's distressing.
Do you want to take a break and go get a beer?
I do.
All right.
I'll be back.
All right. I'll pause.
I'll stagger back.
Hello, this is future editing Erik here. I'm sorry to report that when Dennis came back, somehow my mic was muted. Like, he could hear me, but it didn't get recorded. So there was a whole interesting third night where I ended up eating some amazing food and going to the Comedy Cellar, which was a place that I always wanted to go to. But sadly, that story has been lost. So I will leave you with Dennis's song at the end of our recording. Sorry about that.
Well, I went to New York City. Oh, it made me feel so fine. I went to Broadway Station just to see what I would find. I saw Tom Hanks doing drama. I saw great musicians do. I got all the things that I needed, except I really did miss you. You got me long time gone, baby. You got me long time gone. You got me long time, baby. You got me long time gone. Well, I went back to my motel room, but I was feeling sad. I wish I had you near me. Oh, it made me feel so bad. I got it all night long. I got it all night long. I got it all night long. I got it all night long.
Okay, that's it for episode number 266, one of our longest ever, and we even had 30 extra minutes that were lost. I'm so sad about that. You can find the show notes with links to all the restaurants and stuff that I went to at happyhour.fm/266, and you can help support the show on patreon.com/happyhour. See you in 2 weeks.